Salvete Spectatores, it's Masopust back in Total War Attila, and I think it is time for another replay of an online battle. It's again a fun 2v2, no strings attached, no really like competitive play here, and you will see me play as the Ostrogoths with a Vandal ally versus an Eastern Roman opponent with a Vandal ally too. They even have the exactly same amount of troops. And so let's cover the armies. It will take some time until we engage each other, so I'm gonna fast forward here a bit. My army consists of, it's very meta I think. I have 6 Germanic horsemen with 2 bronze chevrons and 2 Germanic lancers on the far flanks. I put 4 of those Germanic horsemen up front, so they don't have to charge through the lines of the infantry, because this doesn't work at all. They'll just knock them down and get hung up. Then I have 6 infantry units, 3 of them Gothic Warband and 3 Gothic Paladin defectors with 1 upgrade each. Let's actually slow down a bit. And because I couldn't decide which one of them is better, they cost nearly the same. Paladin defectors a bit more expensive. And I have similar stats. A bit more sturdy here in the Gothic Warband, it seems. More health. Less armor. Well, it's a very similar unit. Then Royal Sionis is a general with a silver upgrade, so they are beasts. They're very strong. But I don't want to engage them with the Tagmata, because that wouldn't be cost effective at all. And it's dangerous. I took 2 Germanic archers. I'm very happy with their performance. They have 200 range. Cost, I don't know, 270, something very cheap, and are a pain in the ass of both missiles and cav of the opponent. My ally here, let's cover his army. He has also 2 Germanic archers. Well, it's the archers, right? Yeah. And then noble Germanic swordsmen, who aren't the best units, but they are decent, sturdy. Germanic pikes here, 3 of them in the second line. In the third line he has noble Suebi swords. They are very strong and exclusively available for the Vandals, I believe. And they furthermore look extremely sweet with their green trousers here. Huge shields and glittering swords and armor. Very nice indeed. Vandal Warlord. Medium Malachev, nothing special here, but okay place to be a general in. Germanic horsemen on the flank, only 4 of them, so not too cavalry heavy. I like that. I go cavalry heavy because I know it's very strong, but okay. And my opponent here is the Eastern Roman guy, and he has 4 Tagmata with 3 gold chevrons, so super elite cavalry here. I thought I had the cavalry advantage, and I may do hold, but 4 Tagmata will be very difficult. They'll just wreck my guys. And then he has some super upgraded Magister Militum. Not too concerned about this guy. Has some decent staying power, but not too great offensive stats. And 2 Eastern Armored Legio way back here. They even looked the wrong way at the beginning here. These one don't. Okay, and the main line is 4 Protectores Domestici with 3 Bronze Sharon upgrades, 2 Ballistari and 3 Armored Sagittari. So a very, very huge missile contingent here. And decent cav, but low in numbers. So I hold definitely the numbers advantage, and this is dangerous. For my opponent, that is. So here we go, Vandals versus Vandals, and let's compare those 2 armies. Also 4 noble Germanics, though they are upgraded, so they should be stronger overall. 4 Germanic archers with 1 upgrade here, nothing special. I don't think it's necessary to upgrade archers, because it will only increase morale and melee attack and defense, and when will you use them on archers? Main line is also noble Germanic swords, backed up by noble Suebi swordsmen, so really nearly the same army here. A little bit more archers, a little bit more pikes, well, 3 pikes, and otherwise nearly the same armies really. Oh, both have the cavalry on one flank, and this is the first thing I'm gonna use. I see that in this whole area here, there is no cavalry whatsoever, and also no spear unit, and not really big time, like those darts or javelins. Only those 3 guys have it, so I'm a little bit far away now, but I'll get closer slowly. I'm gonna walk my troops only, not to exhaust them, and then I'm gonna see that, and this is a very sweet opening, and if I would be my ally at this point, I would see that. There's cavalry all over the place. I have 8 cavalry counting my general in, it's 9, and therefore I pose a huge threat on all those quite expensive archers. Sagittari armored and Ballistari are not cheap. Germanic archers, well, they are cheap, and they're in a firefight here with the other Germanic archers, which they are winning handily, because they outnumber them 4-2. So I decide, well, I communicated here with my ally, I forgot his name. Sorry dude, Kamikaze was it, I think, I'm not sure here. And I see it, okay, what can happen to my cavalry? I'm just gonna roll in here, disrupt the archers, they run back. Give my opponent, my ally here, a little bit of breathing space. And then I thought, should I rush in? I could have done it because, well, no missiles at all. Only the backline, they would do very severe friendly fire damage, and I just retreat. Here I get a little bit of a punishment. Lost 3 cav units, but it was okay. Well, it wasn't the perfect trade-off, but decent enough. And here, my opponent gets very, I don't know what he's doing, but he may have gone to the toilet or something. I don't know what they're doing, they're just holding the bows. And I get a sweet volley here on his Tagmata. Of course I don't, well, never mind that, I killed 2 Tagmata on the first volley from 2 Germanic archers. They don't cost anything and have a decent amount of ammo here. Let's watch this. I like it when Tagmata gets destroyed. Now my opponent realizes it, of course, after 2 volleys. That is rather slow micro, but I can't complain. I have the same issue here. Sometimes, not in this battle though. And this was quite severe damage, because it only counts 6 dead Tagmata, but it could have done a lot to the health damage here. They have 260 health, and it is not shown anywhere how much they have left after some hits, and you can think that this cavalry is quite damaged, because a lot of the units have less than 260 health left. I would love it. Well, Gore and Blood DLC, of course, is not released yet, but in Medieval 2 you could see if the unit has already been engaged, if they are battle worn out, so to speak. Yeah, shut up, horses. And this would be nice here too. They look very, very clean, very new. And here I get a few volleys on those armored Sagittari. They have shorter range, I believe. And therefore I can just unload on them, and they're much more expensive than my archers here. And he just runs back and has lost already nearly a quarter of his units. That's decent. My ally here engages right out, and, well, without support, but now I realize it and I think, okay, I have to close in there, because otherwise he may lose, and it's not looking too good for him already. But a bad thing is that for my opponent here, the Vandal opponent, that they're quite red border camped. I don't know why, and it's bad, because if they rout, they'll maybe not come back. And here, look at this. I'm gonna slow down actually the speed. I do what I should have done earlier. No support from spears or cavalry whatsoever, and my opponent will pay dearly. Now I give the the attack order here on the infantry, and the Sagittari are in a way, man, they are quite expensive meat shield unit, and look at this. They just get killed, and I don't get the good charge on the Protectores Domestici. Here I do, and this is outright slaughter here. Although I get, look at this, also friendly fire from the back, and just massacred those Protectores. Flattened the whole unit. I could have charged right into the Eastern Armored Legion here. Would have been a good move, but I retreated. Also fine. And this first... Well, those Lancers got destroyed. I don't know why. Maybe because of a volley here. A little bit of micro and performance weaknesses here on my part. I should have followed up with my infantry more closely, more quickly, and now they should be right here where my cavalry is now, and charge in into the destroyed and disrupted infantry. Look at this, nearly half down, and they are rather worthless now against my infantry. They will get wrecked, and I get a second charge in with all of my cavalry units because my infantry still takes a while to get there. All the while my Germanic archers are shooting at his armored Sagittari, and here I get a second charge right into the enemy, and this is really a situation where the infantry doesn't want to be in, getting cycle charged on the move, not braced. And already one Protectoris is down, and this forces my opponent's ally here to pull off troops, at least his general here, and those archers are in danger, because now there would be a gap right here where I can swoop in, and you don't want to fight with your general until it's really the last option you have. My general is very safe in the back, because it is quite devastating if your general gets killed. Now, my opponent here reinforces with Tagmata cav, and this is bad for me. So I just put in Germanic horsemen as, not bait, but as a buffer unit, and they get destroyed horribly on the charge, and then the aftermath. And well, I don't know what I have to do at this point to get rid of the Tagmata, but I'm confident still because my enemy infantry is all but gone, and I have my general nearby that should bolster the morale. Those Germanics will come back. All the while I'm just rampaging all over the enemy crossbows too. Got into his general, which will tank out a lot of kills, but eventually die. Here I also blocked the Tagmata cavalry with Germanic horsemen. The Tagmata will win, but it's also not a situation where the Tagmata wants to be in, because they cost a lot more than this. Look at this. Then what I wanted to say is that it costs a lot more than my Germanic horses, and essentially I can hold up 900 somewhat ducats of my opponent with my 600 somewhat ducats. And look at this charge. Only 2 of my opponent's Tagmata died, and 6 of my own. But here, well, it was a Gothic Lancer charge to be sure, but the Tagmata just got wrecked with 20 losses because they were weakened before by my archers. So 2 volleys can pay off. And because my cav is cheaper than my opponent's, I just unload on them, kill 6 more Tagmata, so this unit is gone soon. On this flank here, the Tagmata is a little bit more effective, but also gets killed, because they're ganked up by infantry, and if they pull out now, they're gone. This Tagmata here wrecked a lot of my guys. My general here, I said before I should not engage the general at all, but those crossbows were such a sweet target. They're gone instantly, so I just go in here. Now I could have gone after those archers here, but they're nearly out of ammo, so pose no threat, except the numbers penalty, and I just close up with my infantry here for some recharges. All the while my archers are unopposed and have still some ammo left, and killed off this Tagmata cav. Then I switch targets on these, and he should have pulled out at this point and reinforced with his infantry, because look at this. Those cheap archers wrecks even Tagmata. And now the Tagmata are nearly off the field. 1 full Tagmata here remaining with only 3 losses. They are a problem. But now at this point I have all infantry units left. I only lost 1 infantry unit from my 6, and therefore the Tagmata has a problem because they are not good at fighting cavalry and infantry at the same time. Infantry in a drawn out engagement will still win against Tagmata, but they'll tank out a lot of kills. My general here killing Ballistari, he gets a lot of kills without any opposition really, and my infantry here combined with the fire arrows of my archers killed off 1 other Tagmata. Germanic horsemen into Ballistari. I'm sorry I didn't cover what was going on over here, but essentially my opponent here is winning against my ally, so that's bad, but he can hold out a little bit longer, I think, and my... Yeah. My direct opponent here has only 1 armored legio left, no chance against cavalry and infantry at the same time. I just retreat my general here, that he not get killed against those armored legio. They have javelins left, so they could be potentially dangerous. And here I try to engage them with everything I have. My opponent goes into shield wall, but it is too late, and the army losses stack up at this point, so the morale is down. And they will rout instantly. Not instantly, but very soon. Then I have to decide, what will I do? Will I run to my opponent here before he can wrap up his, my ally, so to speak? Or walk, or even just stand, so that my units are fresh, because now they're exhausted, and this is a huge penalty on their fighting, on the morale, and of course on the speed. So I decide to run, because my opponent can't do anything while he is engaged with my ally here, and it's still a close match, but eventually I think the red guys here will win against the blue ones. So I have to hurry, and I'm running. I have 2 units, no, actually, let's have a look. 4 units of infantry left, 1/5 very small unit of infantry, 4 cav, including my general, and 2 archers, without ammunition, that is. And here my opponent must see that I'm coming with huge numbers, and, well, they're exhausted, but I could rest them right before I engage. It should work. And I think at this point he is desperate, because he cannot finish off the sturdy infantry here. Tries some rear charges. Oh god, I don't want to be this Germanic swords. Yep, they get wrecked. But I actually come here in time, and to deliver some punishing rear charges on those noble Suebi infantry here, which are very expensive. I don't know how much they cost exactly, but they're one of the strongest and most effective, but also most expensive cavalry units, infantry units left in the game. Here, some sweet rear charges going on into already engaged infantry, which is bad for my opponent. Here, my opponent's cavalry gets blobbed up, and I get charges into them without them getting charges on me, which is also bad for my opponent. And my infantry was able to rest all the while, and they are fresh once again. Hey. And I'll run them in a second. But at this point, my opponent is all but gone. He has a lot of cavalry left, but no infantry, and so the archers are also out of ammunition, and there's just nothing he can do at this point.
Our men are running, cowards!
Yeah. And I have my general in here, which has been a bit risky, but essentially those quick recharges allowed my man to rest, and also didn't allow his man to rest, which is even more important. They're all exhausted and cannot do anything here against my fresh infantry, which is incoming. I may even have won with only the cavalry, I'm not sure there. The Vandal warlord still has a lot of troops here left. But of course against all my infantry he has no chance. And he's disintegrating. I think I would have won here without my infantry. But it was a very fun battle. I liked it a lot. It's taken some time, and good game to my two opponents and my ally, who all did a decent job. And let's have a look here at the kills. My Vandal warlord, my Royal Sionis general here got 318 kills with only half losses. Well, 30 men lost in their unit, but it was mostly archers and they just preyed on crossbowmen. Infantry did a rather poor job, except those two and this Gothic warband. Maybe they got charged, I don't know what they do, but they're not super strong, they're decent infantry. Those two Germanic archers paid off, definitely. They killed Tagmata. Nearly all of those kills were Tagmata and Armored Sagittari, so very useful units indeed. And my cavalry department is definitely the most successful one here. They secured me the victory. They all got way over 100 kills, except those two guys. But look at this, 180 kills on a medium Germanic horseman. I know they are even a little bit OP, I would say. They are too strong. You get too much in everything, especially too much health and stuff for the price. Lancers here not too great. Those were good. They fought against Tagmata. That's honorable. That's valiant. My ally here, decent performance, especially of those two guys here. Not so great on his cavalry department, except this unit, and it was rather even between those two. Look at this, 270 kills on infantry. This is impressive, actually. Cavalry also did not... Well, okay, I forgot that. Those were noble Germanic horsemen, which are not as cost-effective as the Germanic horsemen. They only have more morale, which isn't too important at that point. The Romans here, the Tagmata performed horribly, except this one. Also, this one didn't do too great. If you think about Tagmata, they should always get over 200 kills minimum and no losses here, but they were used badly. And I don't want to be mean, but the Eastern Romans are a very strong faction, and my opponent, I think, just picked the wrong army here. Maybe if he is a little bit too not too cav heavy, but he didn't have the right protection for his huge and very expensive missile department. Only 6 units of infantry, which is okay-ish, but then he should have brought more cavalry. Tagmata are great, but they need a little bit of support here. They want to wreck infantry, not to fight against cavalry. Okay, this was it. I thank you all for watching. I hope you had fun too, and I'll see you soon.